morning, everybody. Welcome to the webinar, and people are logging in. We'll give everybody a few minutes to get in here before we start. We will begin shortly. Again, good morning, everybody. We're giving the attendees a few minutes to get logged into the webinar here, and we will begin shortly. And good morning, everybody, and welcome to the specific group for state agencies for training on the new DIR website. We are glad you could join us this morning to learn a little bit more about the new DIR website that was released on September 1st. And our training today is specific to state agencies in the state of Texas who utilize the DIR contracts. So we want to start with a couple of housekeeping items. And if you would, we want to do a quick sound check to make sure that everybody can hear us clearly. So if you would, raise your hand and let us know that you have a good sound quality with us this morning. Excellent. See a lot of hands going up. Thank you for that. We want to remind everybody that attendees are muted today. We do have over 100 people with us on the webinar today. So if you would, open your Q&A panel and please submit your questions into that Q&A panel, and we will take some time today to answer those both as we go along. If you have a specific question on an area that we are covering at the moment, feel free to put that in and we will take some time to get that answered. We will also have time at the end of the webinar, hopefully, to get to as many questions as we can. So let's go ahead and get started, and I will introduce your speaker and presenter for today. This is a live demonstration that Tony Tran with DIR. He is a business analyst in our contract services division here at DIR in the Chief Procurement Office. So Tony's going to do some live demonstrations for you this morning. So with that, I will go ahead and let Tony share his screen and we will begin.
Thanks, Tom. Let me share my screen right now. And hopefully you are seeing my browser with the DIR website homepage.
Yes.
Okay, great. And again, my name is Tony Tran. I've been working on this site for quite some time, and again, we welcome any feedback that you guys may have. This site was created with state agencies and customers of all types in mind. We're continuing to improve it, but yeah, it will have a lot of the same information that you had access to before, but just much more efficient. So I wanted to start here on the home page. You can see that we have a lot of links and things of that nature on the home page. Up here on your sign in, this is the equivalent of your sign into my DIR link from the previous website. It has a lot of things like your portals that you may have access to. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on that. Give it a second. I think a lot of people are probably hitting the website right now. But you can see a lot of your portals that you had access to before, or if you had access before, they are all here. So you'll see your SOW portal, exemption requests. You'll also be able to access your open records portal. Here is where you can submit PIRs. We have IT staffing ITSAC portal, so you can submit those type of solicitations. And then we have a couple more vendor-oriented ones. So let me go back to the home page. You'll also notice up here we have 4 links at the top about DIR if you wanted to learn anything about DIR or kind of policies and things of that nature. It will be in the about DIR. Careers, upcoming job postings and things that are available will be here in the careers tab. News, this one is updated on a regular basis by our PDO group. They are going to update you of any news that that we think is relevant to our entire audience. And then events here is where you can find out about upcoming events. It's our calendar of events. So we will, like this training, we posted it to our calendar. Just trying to get a different avenue of notifications. If we ever have like an issue with the website, you'll also notice that we have a red banner that we'll post onto the homepage or any page that DIR is connected to. And so just be on the lookout for things of that nature. If we have either technical issues with the website or things that we need to immediately notify, it will be on the homepage. And then we have kind of a scrolling catalog of events as well. If you scroll through the homepage, you'll also see kind of an intro to the website. Oh, sorry. You'll see we have relevant links depending on what you're looking for, either if you're buying through DIR or selling through DIR as a vendor, and then kind of a quick link to our contracts page. Scroll through. You'll see the type of solutions that we have and kind of dedicated pages for our customers, such as state agencies like yourself or higher ed, local government, school districts, organizations outside of Texas. And then you'll see here, we have a pretty prominent box for information security. It's related to all of our information security, policy, guidance, anything that would be relevant to y'all. And as we keep going, we'll have more updates down here as well. And I wanted to show you at the top, you also had this contact DIR. Actually, this might just be in the footer, I'm sorry. So contact DIR, this is how you're going to contact DIR for any reason. If you have a public information request, you're going to have to go through this link or through that portals link like I showed before. Or if you had either generic comment, questions, or feedback, you can use this web form here to populate your information, send us a message. We look and address each and every one of them. So if you have any questions or feedback, our team will greatly appreciate it. And if you don't go through here, you can also send an email to askdir@texas.gov. That's the same for if you have questions following this webinar, you can send an email there as well, and we will get back to it. So going back to the homepage, I did want to show you this mega menu up here. This will be on every page that you look at, regardless of which page you're on. You will always see this mega menu. The IT solutions and services has some of our more popular categories of things that can be purchased, either things that are grouped together or specific to that type of category or service, such as ITSAC services, DBIT services, anything cloud services related, either in the public or private or prem. And we have some of the other ones that you might want to just look through. Over here on the program areas tab, so you'll see here we have two tabs, one for category and one for program areas. These will be categorized more focused on the program areas that DIR has internally. Either, as you may be familiar with, our cooperative contracts program that has products and services for you to purchase. We have our OCISO, Office of the Chief Information Security Officer. They will have your security and planning and guidance, things of that nature. We have texas.gov, share technology services, communications, or our previous telecom section. So you'll see a lot of information and resources on each of those pages, and we'll get into that as we go through. The second tab across the mega menu is the policy and guidance. That is, like I said before, a lot of our policy and guidance related to either accessibility, IT security, and things that are available to your agency. This third tab going across is our resource library. It's all the the documents and things that are found on the website. If you ever want to go there and look for a specific document, you can click on that tab and use the search function there. This IMA is new to the website. There are specific pages that we made for each of our major customers, and for state agencies, you're here at the top. And I want to just segue into this IMA for state agencies. This page will have a lot of quick links to the things that are relevant to state agencies. Right off the top, we're talking about cybersecurity training. Your annual training is done here. So you can click on this link. You'll see how to access the security training and all the information related there as well. And as you scroll through, we have these cards that link out to different sections of the website. This first tab is the Procurement Professional's Guide to DIR. It has a lot of basic information for procurement professionals as yourself about different programs and how to search the website, how to gain access to the contracts and things of that nature. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But I just wanted to show y'all that we have a lot of these cards dedicated to different sections that you would be interested in. Customer eligibility is here. It's sprinkled out throughout the website, but I wanted to showcase the customer eligibility page. It has a lot of the relevant statutes that dictate why state agencies have to purchase through DIR, how the exemption process works, things of that nature. We also have a link here for just exemption requests. If you're curious about the types of requests that there are and how to submit them, those will be all localized on this page here. As you know, you'll have to draft statement of works depending on the type of project or procurement that you have coming up. So we have a guide page. It's similar to the previous page on the previous website, but this one is just laid out and cleaned up a lot better. So if you have any questions regarding statement of works, how to draft them, what type of statement of works we have out there, and then how to contact the SOW team that is on that page. This is just a link to our contracts page. We have how administrative fees are calculated for each of the contracts. And I also wanted to bring up bulk purchasing. So as you know, we have bulk purchasing opportunities that are either ongoing or those that are expiring. So just be sure to check out that page. We take into consideration a lot of immediate need from our customers, especially state agencies, and we will work on a bulk purchase initiative that state agencies can purchase off of. And there's a lot of guidance there as well. So we'll check that out in just a bit. And as I scroll through the page, we have some kind of more general information about why buying through DIR will be helpful to your agency. We have more quick links to the different types of solutions and services across the website. So if you check that out. And then we have our events calendar down here. This is where we're at right now. And if you click on this more events page, it will go back to the calendar of events where you can see what other things that we have coming up. Scrolling down, we have more related news. Sorry, my page is kind of lagging right now, but I'm sure it's because of how many people we're broadcasting to. So in a nutshell, that is the IMA page. It is for your purposes. And again, any feedback, if you have any, would be very helpful to send to us. And we're constantly trying to improve them. Okay, so let's take a look at the Procurement Professional Guide to DIR. This is where we're going to have information about purchasing thresholds. So we're on the page now. You'll see we have more links to customer eligibility, and we'll check that out in just a bit. We have statutes about why state agencies are required to purchase through DIR. We have our threshold limits here in the middle of the page. This was recently updated on September 1st, so be sure to check that out. It was updated to 10 million. And as we keep going, you'll see more links that go out to the same place. We don't want, so one of the main things that we had in mind was to not have links and information buried on the site. So we really try to make as much information accessible and visible as possible. So you'll see a lot of this repetition, but we wanted to make certain links, you can get to it in 3 to 4 clicks, right? So I tried to make sure that a lot of our links are repeated or on very visible pages. You'll also notice here we have information on our IT sourcing digest. A lot of you may have gotten their information on this particular webinar through there. You can click on this link and register for that IT sourcing. Our director, Herschel Becker, will send a lot of correspondence that way as well. So be sure to take a look at that. And then you have the Stay Connected one, or other discussion groups, depending on the topic. You can register for those as well. And those discussion groups will give you an opportunity to communicate with others. I think a lot of this has been repeated. You can see another link to our cybersecurity training. As you know, we have a list of all of our program areas and things that are offered under each one. And at some point, we are planning on having procurement templates out here. Those have to be reviewed and approved. So those are a work in progress, but we do hope to have templates out here for you procurement professionals to use. Let me just take a quick pause and check if we have any questions, but I don't really see any.
Just one question, Tony. What was the reason behind the needs behind the recent updates to the DIR agency website?
So there's 2 or 3 main reasons why there was a lot of back-end changes that needed to happen, just to become more efficient and for how our information was stored. So there was a technical reason behind the refresh. And 2, we just wanted to keep up with current trends. We wanted to make the website look and feel like a lot of other websites out there. And again, cater to a very specific audience, but I feel like the current layout and the current information is very, it's much more accessible or visible to our customers. A lot of feedback that we got on the previous website was that links were just kind of buried throughout the website, and it was very tough to find certain things. So, yeah, that was one of the main reasons to this this update. Let me mark that as answered. How do you get a login on the applications portal? Depending on the portal that you're trying to get a login for, if you click on any of those, there are credential requests on those pages. If you take a look at that, you can also scroll to the bottom. There's a contact there. I think it's I can take a look at it later, but there's a specific email contact that you can take a look at. So we'll get to resellers in just a bit. There's a question on resellers, so I will answer that once we get back over to the contracts page. And where are the blanket exemptions at now? So blanket exemptions, good question. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go back to the IMA page. If you scroll down. So that's a good question, because previously I think eligibility and exemptions were on the same page, but the exemptions were getting confusing for other customers that don't need to submit an exemption. Exemption requests are really just relegated to state agencies. So you'll see here we have a lot of information about exemption requests. when you should do it, why you should do it. And again, a lot of the same thresholds are here. You'll see a link here to our exemption request portal, which will go back to your applications page. And then here is where we have specific information about exemption requests. For blanket exemptions, you don't have to submit an exemption. You just have to make sure that the information that we have here is covered. So if you click on here, you'll see all the different types of blanket exemptions. And again, like I said, there's two types of blanket exemptions: ongoing or expiring. The ongoing ones are pretty much perpetual, and these are what we call accordion links. So if you expand these, you'll see more information as it's related to that topic. Okay, and then as you're scrolling through, you'll see here's all of our expiring blanket exemptions. We try to make these pretty clear in terms of when they're expiring and what is on there. There's a lot of them out there, so you'll have to take a look. But yeah, if you expand any of these, you'll see the information related to that expiring blanket exemption. And here is where we have a lot of explanations about one-time exemptions. Why you might need to submit a one-time exemption. Usually there's a whole host of reasons as to why, and this page has a lot of information, and I don't want to bog the presentation down too much, but feel free to go out there and take a look. We have again a lot of information about why you need to submit a one-time exemption. What does that process look like? And again, submitting the one-time exemption doesn't mean you're exempt. You have to wait for DIR to actually review and approve it. So be sure to learn more about one-time exemptions on this page. Okay. I think that's all the questions that I see. So let's just keep moving. I'm going to go back to the IMA page for state agencies. And let's take a look at customer eligibility next. So if you scroll through here, you'll see we have a list of the type of customers that we deal with. And first off the bat are Texas state agencies. We have the statutes as to what defines a state agency and then why they have to purchase through DIR. Another link to the exemption request is here as well. And again, anything that's offered through DIR, state agencies can purchase through it. So just want to let you know, if you want to get to the specific statutes, Texas Government Code, or not in this case, but TACs, they are all on this page. Okay. We'll go back to the IMA page for state agencies. We have our SOW guide, like I mentioned earlier, bulk purchasing, and then these are more like calculations of how administrative fees are done. Let's go into, I'm just looking over my notes, 1 second. Let's take a look at the schedule of solicitation opportunities. So our previous page for that I'm referencing is the current contracting initiatives, or the CCI page. It's been updated to the schedule of solicitation opportunities. I thought that was a little bit more apt for what was on the page. But if you click on here, and again, I'm hoping to have this link on the IMA page, just because I just noticed that it's not as intuitive to get to. But we have every solicitation that's in various phases, either in a planning phase, negotiation phase, evaluation phase, closed, whatever, they're on this page. And again, it's the same information as before as our CCI page, but I wanted to showcase this, this button here. If you as an agency have suggestions for a product or service that you want to see on a solicitation or an RFO in the future, you can use this form and submit it to our team. And then our team will go through the process of exploring that and seeing what it would take to get an RFO out onto the street for you. But yeah, this link here will be very helpful for our team if you're looking to submit suggestions to us. Okay. Okay, I think I've gone through the majority of the pages that I was looking forward to. I wanted to also highlight the outreach and training page here. This is where I had these webinars that they were posted here as well, just so I wanted to make sure that people could see. But you'll see how outreach and training from our team here, they have a variety of topics and customized trainings available. And you'll see, if you scroll through here, you'll see the various topics that have been covered or can be covered. So this is where you'll find out about, what kind of training would you like for DIR to have for your agency. And as you scroll through, you'll see we'll have a lot of our resources posted here as well. Things that either user guides or quick guides. We try to have it in resource sections, and we also are trying to have a lot of videos posted on our website. So be on the lookout for these types of videos and resources to be posted on our pages. But this outreach and training page is a good hub for you to learn about either upcoming or previous trainings that have occurred. And again, we have a link down here. If you wanted to reach out to them and talk to them, you can just email us at cpo@dir.texas.gov. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to go into the program areas, and there is a lot, but that's because there's a lot to offer. So we're going to go back to the mega menus is what I typically do. And you expand this IT solutions and services and go over to the program areas, you'll see the various program areas that we have. I wanted to go into cooperative contracts just because I'm in the cooperative contracts division. And if you scroll through here, you'll see how we have our information laid out. These cards here, hardware, software, technology, and branded contracts, is a little different way of showcasing the types of contracts that we have and the types of categories that is being offered. For any RFO that we have out there that has an active contract, we're trying to update these cards. So let's go ahead and look at hardware. And you'll see hardware products and related services. So if the type of contract has hardware and a service that comes bundled into it, you'll see that they're showcased on here on this page or on other pages if that RFO bled into either hardware, software, services, or not really branded contracts, but we'll get into that. And again, you'll see we have these accordion links. If you expand any of these, you'll see what is on that particular category, what's being offered. And if you click on these links here, they will go into our search and they'll show you the active contracts that's available under that RFO. And I just wanted to make a point. At the RFO level, we list out all the different types of eligible products or services there. The contracts themselves may be a little different depending on how they were awarded. That the particular contract may only offer X, Y, or Z, as opposed to the whole gamut of what was offered under that RFO. So it's really important if you're clicking on this link and looking at the contracts related to it. I just went ahead and clicked on that. There's 4 active contracts under this one. You'll see each of the contract pages, and you can do the research to see what is actually offered on that contract. Okay. So I explained a little bit of co-op, and I think it's pretty clear on how to get to their IT solutions and services program areas. I also wanted to showcase, here's where you can go and see STS, our shared technology services. You'll get information on data center services, managed security services, our Texas.gov program. You'll also see our open data portal. That's where we post a lot of information there as well. So you can see the information related to those. Our telecom, this is where you're going to see all of your information for Tex-An or CCTS, the Capital Complex Telephone System. That may not be relevant to everybody, but that is something that we want to have information out there on. I spoke about our OCISO group. I did want to make a note on OCISO. As you know, there's been talks about RAMP certifications for cloud-based services. This will impact state agencies, and as our OCISO group is crafting that policy and guidance, that will be on the OCISO page. And we'll have information out there as to what RAMP certification means, how to find the particular contracts or products or services that are RAMP certified so that your agency can be in compliance. But we will have a lot more information on that in the future, especially before January 1st, when a lot of these changes are going to be made. But yes, so if you go over to the OCISO page, you'll see a lot of information. And I did want to show you one quick thing on the OCISO page. Scroll down here under Information Security Services, you can actually see the different types of services that's available. So I just went ahead and clicked on that. But yeah, you'll have a lot of resources here. And again, feel free to contact our groups, and they'll walk you through anything that you may have a question on. Okay, we are at 10:32. I wanted to go ahead and get into our contract searching, which is what a lot of y'all are probably looking at. So again, on this mega menu, if you click on search, you'll see a big search window will pop up, and there's two ways to search. You can either use the all pages and content, which will search across the entire website. So you'll see events, you'll see pages or contract documents. That'll all be here. But if you're looking for specifically contracts or vendors, if you click on the second tab, you can see a new search window that populates. I'm just going to use Dell as an example. So if you search by Dell and click search, you'll see how our results will pull up. And so you'll see across here, you'll see three different tabs. You'll either see all results, which is the default tab. You'll see contracts, or you'll see vendors. So all results will combine all of the results that are in the other tabs. Initially, we had a contract documents tab here as well, where you can search through all the contract documents that are available on each of our contracts. But we had a technical glitch on that, but that will be added back at a later time. So if you click on all results, you'll see all the results as they come through. They're sorted by relevancy right now. And as we get more clicks and people using the website, our search algorithms will be more refined. But you'll see this is how a lot of our pages are organized. If you're looking for specific contracts, if you tab over to the contracts page, you'll see that there's 5 contracts that's related to that Dell query, right? Either Dell is offered as a brand or it's the actual Dell contract. And you'll see here, this 3763 is the main Dell contract. Scroll back up a little bit. I want to show you the vendor pages. Vendor pages are also a new concept on this website. You can see for a particular vendor all the active contracts that's offered under that vendor. So for instance, Dell, let's go ahead and open up that guy. You'll see it's separated into 2 separate sections. You're going to either get contracts where they are a prime seller on that contract, or one where they are a reseller. I saw a question earlier about separating reseller information. I might ask a follow-up question on that, because your question may be related to, let's just go into this Dell contract. And And a lot of the information on a contract page is the same as before. We did have a little bit of an update here that I wanted to bring to your attention. We have term dates and we have expiration dates. Expiration dates are, it is if the contract has executed all of its renewals. So this Dell contract, if we executed every single renewal that we have on it, will go through 2024. But the actual next term date is January 10th of 2022. So in case we don't renew the contract, I'm sure we will for the Dell contract, but in case 2022 is the upcoming term date, 2024 is the expiration date. That's if every single option was executed, right? As you scroll through, you'll see a lot of information that you're familiar with. So we have our vendor ID here. We have whether or not this company, Dell in particular, is a hub or not. It's not necessarily if their resellers are hubs, but if the company themselves is a hub. You'll see the RFO that the contract was awarded under. You'll see that the contract status is set to active right now. It's still an active contract. You'll have vendor information. So their contact information is here. This is how you're going to contact your vendor contract managers to start exploring procurement options. The vendor websites are also on every contract page. So be sure to take a look at vendor websites if they have their product catalog out there. And then here under DIR contact is the contract manager that's assigned to that contract. So if you ever have questions related to a certain contract, feel free to email or contact those managers, and you'll either have their email or their phone number. And as you scroll through, you'll see more information related to the contract. General information, what kinds of products and services are offered under that contract. For your purposes, you'll be very interested in commodity codes, and I'll go into commodity codes and how to search on that, but you'll see the different commodity codes that's offered on this contract. Click down again, you'll see brands, all the different types of brands that have been awarded on a contract, and for this Dell contract, there are a lot. Contract documents, this is where you're gonna be able to download the actual documents as they are either amendments or the contract itself or the RFO, signed documents, terms and conditions. They're all going to be here on contract documents. And if you scroll through, you'll see because this is the main Dell branded contract, you'll see there's a lot of topics here. How to order, that's unique to every contract, but it is involved with contacting their sales rep or their vendor contract manager. And then resellers, and this may be the question, but resellers is how you're going to how you'll be able to see all the different resellers on a particular contract. And you'll notice here that there is a link for downloading a list of it in a CSV format. If you clicked on that link, it'll pull all the information for the resellers, all of their contact information, whether or not they're a hub. Yeah, you'll be able to download that list from there. Okay. So that may be related to your question, but if you have a follow-up question, feel free to submit that. I did want to go back to our search page and show another topic that people have been asking about. It's the other CSV download. So as you know, as you saw when I searched, it defaulted to the All Results tab. If you tab over to the Contracts tab, you'll see a Download Results CSV here. This Download Results CSV will also show you, hold on. Okay, that will show you all of the results. So right now we have 5 contracts, I believe. So it'll have 5 contract results, and it'll pull together all of the reseller information as well. It's exactly like you had it on the previous website. It has the same information, but that is very helpful to our procurement professionals when they're looking to meet their hub goals, right? So you'll see a lot of that information. So if you click on this download results CSV, you'll have it open up in Excel or any other program that you're familiar with, and it will have all of that information there. Okay, so just remember it is on your contracts tab to be able to gain access to that download results CSV. I also wanted to show y'all. So if you're looking for a specific commodity code, depending on what you're looking for, you can do this drop down next to the search and search by specific field. So if you choose commodity code and say, the example I have here is 209-28 and hit search. You'll see that it's searching through all the contracts that have a commodity code of 209-28. I think that was like computer hardware or computer towers, something like that. But you'll see that the website will search through specifically all the contract pages that have a commodity code of this or that. And again, you can change it up. You could search by just 209. You could search it by the full commodity code name. So you have a lot of options, but just play around with that. It's pretty nifty for you to be able to search through commodity codes. I think that's kind of all I wanted to show you on these pages. There are like these filters will show up depending on your search results. So if you just wanted to look at categories related to IT security software, if you click on that, you'll see the results that are filtered out for that. You have brands, all the different types of brands. And again, because Dell came up, there are a ton of brands here. And then you have all the different hub types. So you can either filter it out for hubs or non-hubs. And this one's a little dangerous because it's looking at the particular vendor, if they're a hub, not necessarily their reseller. So like for instance, the Dell contract, there's lots of resellers on their contract that are hub certified, but Dell themselves are not hub certified. So if you clicked on these type of results, you might get different things.
Hey, Tony.
Yeah, go.
We do have a specific question to your searching right now. The question is can you search by multiple commodity codes or just one at a time?
Right now it's one at a time. I have that out as an enhancement for the future, because I understand that you may want to look at that. So right now I would recommend searching commodity code by commodity code and then downloading those results. And then just kind of knowing which result set will have that particular commodity code on there. But I am thinking about that. There's a lot of advanced searching. I don't know the word, but you can do 209-28 plus 209-27 plus. There are kind of like advanced operators that can be used. It's not out there now. And I'm looking into it as a feature enhancement. So let's see. Any other questions, Tom?
One for printing. We screen print the specific DIR contract page for our files. Previously, all of the items like products and services, commodity codes, contract documents would show up in one screen print. Now we have to click on each tab and screen print each tab and then use the combine feature in Acrobat to make one file. So it's taking much longer. Is there a way to get around that?
Not that I can think of right now, unless you're looking at the contract documents themselves. But you're really talking about a point in time. So I'll add that to a list of enhancements. I'm thinking of something like a download CSV here that combines all of the information across these tabs for your filing purposes. So that's a good feedback. I didn't realize that you're having to do multiple screen grabs. Although I will say, because I'm using Firefox right now, if you do a right click in Firefox, there is like a take screenshot. So it does make things go pretty quick if you're trying to screenshot a particular page. But yeah, we'll certainly take a look into that. That's good feedback. Thank you.
Okay. Do state agencies need logins? If so, why?
State agencies will need logins to particular portals that's related to them. So I'm going to go back over to the applications page, and I'll show you right now. So we have, again, for state agencies, you have to submit statement of works to DIR for review, and you need logins there. So if you click on this link, I'll go ahead and show you. You click on this link to get over to the SOW page. It's the landing page for logging in. And you'll see here, if you need to email for credentials, you can click there. You can also see at the bottom of this page, as it's going through, identity support at dir.texas.gov. That's another way for you to ask for credentials. And our IT team will verify and validate that you are with a state agency, and then they'll release your credentials to you. But for these, you will need credentials to access depending on what you're looking for. This is how you submit IT staffing solicitations, either like a request for resumes or a statement of work. You can use this portal here. And then for submitting one-time exemptions or exemptions for local cooperatives, you will have to use the exemption portal. And then if you ever have an open records request or a PIR, you will use this portal here. But they all have different logins. We are looking to optimize our credentials, because I think that's another feedback that a lot of people have of that. Why do you have to maintain multiple logins? So we are working on consolidating that, and that will be out very, very soon. That I'm very excited about. But so you'll, on your end, you'll only see one login credential, but that'll work for multiple portals. So just be on the lookout for that. We will make an announcement on that soon. Any other questions?
But to search just general products and services and make procurements through our contracts, then no, you don't need a login for that. You can search by vendors and buy what you need through those.
Yeah, so those portals that you see on this page, the ones that say either customers only or state agency customers, those are portals for a very specific purpose. So those you would need logins for. Just to use the website, just to browse through our contracts, you don't need to. And again, I wanted to make a note. The contracts that we have in our search is dynamic. It's constantly moving. So just know that when you're looking through it, that might be the latest and greatest at that point in time. Contracts are constantly being either amended or awarded or terminated, or information is getting updated. So be sure to keep that in mind.
And another question specific to credentials. The question is, if our credentials for login were saved on the previous version of the site, was that information transitioned to the new site? For example, statement of work approval, login, and exemption portal.
Okay, so that's a computer technical issue. If your browser saves your cache and it saves your passwords, then yes. Otherwise, you would have to type it in again. But that's entirely up to you and how you store information on your computer. So for instance, if your agency goes out and clears everybody's cache on their web browsers, I can't really do anything about that. And your login credentials won't be stored, but it's certainly still out there. So if you have issues with logging in, each of these portals has a function of how to retrieve or reset your password.
But if they were branded credentials previously to log into that, we still have that information on file.
That information is the same. We did not change any of the portals and any of the credentials behind the scenes. Everything that we changed was related to the website, not to any of these application portals.
Okay, are there turnaround timelines or deadlines for requests made via the portal?
I can double check. I think it's just within a day or two, but they should be pretty quick. Our IT is kind of getting hammered right now, but I will ask about that. We had a previous layout to the applications portal when we went live that was not very intuitive to our customers. So they were getting requests for accounts that for people that already had it. So hopefully that has slowed down, but if you have an actual request that you submitted, I will ask our IT department to take a look at that and see what their personal goal or deadline is for approving or having those turned around. So I'll look back into that. Any other questions?
I think we got the question answered with printing, copying the whole page.
Yeah.
We'll look at.
Yeah, and Mary, you're saying that it's done in 4 business hours. And again, if there's a giant fire going on, they will respond as quick as they can because it is not automatic. But our IT department, they understand that you need access and you need access now. So just give them a chance. And if you don't hear back from them, just give them a little nudge, a little reminder. I'm sure it's in their queue. They're working on it. But yeah, our IT department, they work very, very long hours. So anything else? I guess we're in the Q&A section because I don't see anything else on my agenda that I wanted to get into. I think I explained as much as I could. And again, if you have any other questions, go ahead and submit them now. We will answer them.
So Tony, are you done with your screen sharing?
I am, yes.
Okay. So let me go to here. Okay, so if you do have questions, we have included, you might want to write this down. You can submit those either through the web portal, as Tony had showed you, or you can send an email to askdir@dir.texas.gov, or you can contact your contract manager for that contract as well. But questions or inquiries about the website, if you're looking for certain things, feel free to reach out to us, and you can reach us at this email address.
There you go. Okay, I don't see any new questions. And again, thank you everyone for attending. We are constantly looking to optimize and enhance the website. If there are things that you want to see done, if you either have a big request or a small request, we will take everything into consideration. It's kind of these like moving around information and making it more visible. That is easy stuff. And again, it's all for you. I don't want for information to not be difficult for you to see, and I certainly don't want the information to be difficult for you to digest. So any kind of feedback, go ahead and send it to our team. We will take a look at it. Thank you again for attending today. We have a few more coming up for our institutions of higher ed or any other customers. So if you take a look at our events webpage or in our IT sourcing doc, if you have staff that weren't able to attend today, have them sign up for the next one, and it will be over a lot of the same topics. So.
Okay, thank you everybody for joining us today. We appreciate your time. And as Tony said, let us know if you have any questions, and we wish you all a good day. Thanks again.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.